Let's go to Columbus, Ohio, and talk to Katie. Hey, Katie, what's up?
Hi, Dr. Delony.
What's up?
Oh, just living the life. How are you?
Living La Vida Loca. What's up?
Thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
I have been engaged to my fiancé for about 2 years now. We've been together for 6.
What's taking so long, Katie?
A couple things.
Oh, is that why you're? That's why you're calling. My bad.
Yeah, just a couple of things. Probably the most recent and probably the biggest issue is almost exactly a year ago, he cheated on me. Not necessarily physically, but he was talking with an old female friend that about, exploring their relationship, and it'd be great to see where things went with them. And I found out about it. And he brought up, I went to therapy and sort of dealt with it. And I think that
You haven't dealt with it. It's still right here, right between us.
I know. But so he brought up getting married in November of just this last year. And that was only like 8 months after it really had happened. Oh, I can't do math. 8 months after everything had really happened. And he's sort of been pushing do you ever want to get married? Is this something that you're thinking about? And I just recently, 2 days ago, said, I'm still not over it. I can't just forget that you broke something that I never thought I would ever have to worry about with you. You broke every sort of imaginable trust that I had with you.
Why haven't you just called it yet? Because you're done. I can hear it. You're done. Why are you still hanging on?
A couple of reasons. I moved across the country for him, and
your dignity and respect is worth more than that. Keep going.
And
I know I sound like your big brother, but
no, that's fine.
You're worth more than that. So keep going.
I do love him.
Okay. There are multiple people that I love. I'm married to one person.
Yeah, I know.
Who's my ride or die, right?
Right.
There's people I dated seriously for a long time, and they're great people, and they've gone on to have great lives and great husbands and great families. They weren't right for me, and vice versa. I wasn't right for them.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't mutually exclusive. But here's the thing. You're choosing to remain right in the middle of the road. You're choosing to not put this thing, to set this thing down and build something new with him and do the hard work of regaining trust and relearning trust and reimagining your relationship together as one that, yeah, y'all could hurt each other if you wanted to, but you're not going to. Or just being done with it.
Mm-hmm.
You're just standing in the middle of the road.
Mm-hmm. In limbo.
And you're making yourself crazy.
But he keeps asking me, how long does this last for? How long are you going to hold on to this?
But that tells me you haven't given him a map to reestablish trust. You've just said, I'm mad.
If I gave him the map, yes, I am mad. I'm furious.
Yeah.
But I tried giving him the map, and he sort of pushed back.
Okay.
That it was.
That's what you haven't dealt with. That's what you haven't dealt with.
Challenging.
No, he didn't get to do that. You hold the cards. He violated your trust. And by the way, there's emotional affairs. There's people. And by the way, somebody called me out on this on social media the other day, just to put it out there. I say things like, things happen at work. I'm not saying they're okay. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying they don't surprise me at all. That's what I'm saying. So there's emotional affairs. There's people who get to be really great friends. And then it's like, man, I have a funny joke, and the first person I think of is them. And it kind of keeps escalating and escalating.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's making plans.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where this thing goes. Because I'm starting to picture a future with you. Right?
Right.
And then there's physical intimacy, right? Which I categorize totally differently. Not everybody does, but it's different for me. Then there's financial infidelity. There's all kinds of things, but this is a getting back with an old girlfriend. Just figure out if there might be some things there and where this thing might lead, right?
Mhm.
You get to decide, if I'm in this relationship, if I'm going to stay in it, here's what must be true. And you did that. And he looked at you and goes, yeah, I'm not doing that. And you back down.
Mhm.
Why?
Felt like I was asking for too much. I didn't want to be the typical cheated on girl who's like, well, now he can't have any freedom at all, and he lost everything.
So you became the other typical cheated on girl who just takes everything that she feels and all her intuition and just shoves it down in a bucket and buries it in the yard. Right?
Right. Yes. Correct.
Not helpful either.
I know. I don't want to be that girl.
I know you don't. I know.
But then can I backtrack and say, okay, now I want, these are the guidelines, or this is what I need. Are you going to follow them? Am I allowed to do that?
If you say, here are the guidelines, are you going to follow them? I wouldn't recommend that. But at any time in a relationship, anybody can say, I'm unable to fully be with you right now. I'm choosing to not be with you because you hurt me so bad previously. The way forward for me to be able to feel safe with you is A, B, C, and D. Your move. There's not a statute of limitations on betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a statute of limitations on hurt and pain. What you have to decide is, I want to be with this person. Here's what it's going to take for that to be possible. And I got to put this on the table and ask if they're in. I think you're scared to do that because you might say no. And then you're back to, well, I moved across the country for this person. We've been together for 6 freaking years. All this lost time, all this lost fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. And probably some people in your life told you probably shouldn't do this, and you did it anyway. And so now you've got all that too, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Not that I've done this before. So now you have this shame, this embarrassment, this tuck your tail, and you think so little of Katie that you're just going to bury you and let all those other voices tell you how you're going to live your life. And that's a recipe for anxiousness, for depression, for all sorts of a cascade of maladies. And I love you enough to tell you this is your life. You can do what you want. You can go marry him tomorrow. But something in my gut tells me you're done. And you don't really have a vision for what comes next. You just know it can't be that. And that's a scary place to find yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You're standing in the middle of the road. Just standing there. Have y'all taken a 30-day break?
Not exactly. We took like a week right after it happened.
Do y'all live together?
Yes.
Okay. I might consider a 30-day break, and we'll put it in the show notes. You can Google it's Terry Reel's 10 Rules of Separation. There's some reasons behind it. Your anger is making it hard to see what a next step would be, and I want to put your body in a position where you can exhale. And you might exhale and go, and then once the smoke begins to clear, you realize, no, this is worth fighting for. This is worth saving. Or you might exhale and go, this dude sucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like you're so shrouded in anger. It's hard to move. And now you got this guy going, marry me, marry me, marry me.
Mm-hmm.
And part of you is like, what took you so long? And the other part of you is like, I would rather set myself on fire in a parking lot than marry you.
It's sort of hard to commit to something like marriage when the person that you thought you were, going to marry wasn't committed to you. And so it sort of is a rock in a hard place.
It very much is. And I'm going to say something that doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's going to make people uncomfortable with me, and that's okay. I think he was first and foremost uncommitted to himself, who he said he was going to be. And my guess is he's created a world for himself where he got real, real comfortable and real, real lazy and real, real, blech. And this ex made him feel alive. So one of them texted each other as a funny joke or to, hey, I saw this meme, I heard this song, and all of a sudden his heart started beating a little faster. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you hit the nail on the head.
I think he didn't like him. I don't think that had to do with him not liking you. I think you were just part of his comfortable ho-hum life.
I also think I make it easy for him.
That's right. There you go.
He doesn't have to worry about me,
Well, it's not that you want him to worry about, like, is she cheating on me? That you don't want that.
Right. No, of course not, no.
But have y'all created a world where y'all desire each other? Where you both feel alive in each other's presence? Where there is blood pumping through those veins?
Yeah.
Or is there another night of Netflix, another night of Netflix, another night of Netflix, and then let's go to bed? We'll get married later. We'll eat later. We'll work out later. We'll get promotions later, right? We'll do all this stuff later. And then you wake up and you've been in Cincinnati, Ohio, or Columbus, Ohio for 25 years.
That's what I'm afraid of.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And so someone like who does a infinitely more, like, loads more work working directly with couples who've experienced infidelity. I'm not at a place where I can say it just from experience, but she does it way more than me. It's where Esther Perel will say something like this could be the greatest thing that ever happened to your relationship. Because he got up to the edge and he peered way over and almost fell off. And together you both said, no, this thing is worth dying on a hill for. What must be true for us to move forward? Because we got to build something totally new. And if you wake up in 10 years and y'all have 9 years of marriage underneath your belts and y'all are best friends and you got 2 knucklehead little kids running around or whatever you're doing, almost falling off the edge could be the catalyst for a great thing. Or it could be that he got up to the edge and almost fell off the edge and you thought to yourself, I don't think I would have cared if he fell.
Mm.
What does that say about the state of our relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Because you might be dead inside too. There's a meme that goes around that doesn't have a ton of science to it, but it sounds right to me sometimes. And it's that I sat down, I'm paraphrasing it, but I sat down with my anger. And I found it was a long lost friend, grief. What I thought I was so mad about and enraged about was actually me just being freaking sad. This whole thing was supposed to play out different. It didn't. And here we are. What do you think?
I definitely have anger and grief and all of those things. I know I have all of those things because it's so easy to become obsessed about it.
Yes.
I mean, I think about it multiple times a week.
All right, so I'm going to ask you something I asked an earlier caller in this episode. What is that getting you? What is that accomplishing for you?
It reminds me of why I'm not married to him.
Okay, I don't think it does. Here's what I think it does. I'll cut to it because we've been talking for a while. I think it's your body's way of rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing what happened, going back over it, with this idea that will help it not happen again in the future.
Mm.
And I hate to be the harbinger of bad news, but if you love somebody and you marry them, They can cheat on you. And there's not a way around that. All relationship is a risk. Work relationships, romantic relationships, parent-child relationships, it's all a risk and it's scary. And by staying angry, by constantly going back and going back and going back and going back to it, wondering about it, having all those imaginary conversations where you tell his old ex-girlfriend what you really think, and if you go tell him what, all of that is your body trying to create a war plan for when this happens again so that it never happens. And it's a waste of effort and time. It doesn't protect you from anything. All it does is burn a hole in the life you're trying to live right now.
Okay.
I've taken some heat for saying it this directly, but this constant is just a waste of your time. It's not getting you away from him. It's not getting you closer to him. It's not rebuilding your relationship. It's not solving the crisis that is in your relationship right now. It's just walking around setting fires to things just to watch them burn.
Mm.
And that's why I say, if you taking a break for 30 days, saying, hey, I'm going to go stay in a hotel for 30 days, or I want you to go stay with a friend for 30 days. I just need to clear my head and decide, are we going to move forward? Are you serious? You're still not over this yet? No, I'm not. But I will be soon. I'll have a path soon. But I think it's fair to say what we had is now gone. What I'm trying to decide is, do I have it in me to build something completely new? And if I do, what will that look like? And that's the sort of language I want you to use. It's architectural. But until you tell me otherwise, I don't see it. I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I feel like you're done. Is he worth fighting for? Is this whole thing worth fighting for?
I think so. I want it to be.
Okay. Then I think a really important exercise is sometime today, swing by a Walgreens or a Barnes & Noble or something and pick up a blank journal and just write at the top on the first page, if so, then what must be true?
I just got a journal actually.
There you
yesterday.
go. If so, then what must be true? What do we want our home to feel like? What must be true? And let's build that. And here's the scary, sucky part. He can look at you and say, I'm not doing that. I like things just the way they are. Whew. And now you're off the cliff. You're into deep sadness and grief. But he might say, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. Ugh, hate this for you. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Let me know how those conversations go. And if it would mean a lot if you come back one day on the show and just read us. What did you write? If this is what it's gonna take, what'd you write? Because I think your roadmap would help countless other people. Katie, thank you so much for the call.